So, for number one, I thought that Eternal Zero was a really good movie. I thought it was interesting how, like, everyone was mad at the grandpa, for doing what I feel like I would have done, and a lot of people, at least in America, would do when it comes to, if you go into war, like, you're going to serve your country and you're going to try your best. But at the same time, like, you don't want to die, per se. Like, you're going to try to keep alive. And I feel like his reasoning was super justified. And for a lot of people to, be mad, I feel like they had the right to, like, he did kind of cower away a lot of times. And that's something to be mad about. But at the same time, like, he saved a lot of lives by not letting the students pass. And I don't know, I respected him for that. So overall, I thought the movie was really good. And I'm not a huge fan of war movies, but I liked that one. So, the films I feel like that left the biggest impression on me so far are, ironically, the two film movies, or the war movies. That being that they really showed a different perspective for World War II. Or no, the first one being for World War II, the second one being for Pearl Harbor and all of that. I thought that To All the Corners of the World was really, I didn't expect the end of it, and I think that's what, to me, made it the most interesting, is it was so calm and not much going on, but then the end got extremely sad. But I thought overall it was a really good movie with how it was portraying all, like, what was going on at the time. Same with Eternal Zero. Just, it was, like, I'm not a fan of war movies, but I really enjoyed those two, even though they made me sad and cry. I feel like the biggest term that I have found interesting is the Hone Tatame, if I'm pronouncing it right. I think that it's really different, or a different way of viewing things compared to America and, like, Japan. I'm a very honest person, and it's, the term to me, I think, is really respectful, and I understand, like, it's, you're, like, keeping the harmony and you're keeping the peace, but I also feel like not being honest is not, or at least being honest in times where, yeah, there's certain times where, like, if you're at work, or depending on the person, like, you shouldn't be because you don't know them well enough. But even as someone that you know really well, for you to not, be truthful and show, like, your full self, or, like, tell them how you feel. So it's just weird to me for someone, like, I'm really honest, as I said before, and lying to them, or not so much lying, but just not being truthful, it's a term that I also mentioned in the midterm, just really, I respect it, and I understand the, like, why the Japanese do what they do with it, but I also feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to do it myself. I get why a lot of Americans don't. In our culture, we're just usually honest, and if you are honest with someone and they're upset, I feel like they also appreciate you being honest with them about it, and even though it disrupts the harmony a little bit, it's okay. Like, it ends up being okay for the most part. I don't really know what I would want to know more about. I feel like it would be similar to question 6 with what I would want to know more of culture-wise. I think I would want to know more of, like, the daily life, compared to, like, long-term, like, in-depth culture. Like, yeah, it's long-term, but just day-by-day basis of how things go. Like, with students, like, the student life here, like, I can see I'm living it, I'm doing it. I think it'd be cool to know more about the student life in Japan. I think it would be cool to learn like culture terms, but more recent ones, if that makes sense. And as for 5, if I were to teach like an American culture class, I would, well, I feel like I would present a lot of history films, but older ones, not so much newer ones. I feel like with modern day film, I'm not someone who watches a lot of movies, so I don't know exactly what movies I would present. I would definitely show war movies, because with the 2 movies you watched based off like how the Japanese were with war and whatnot, it's definitely, or it was definitely different in America. And I would still say is with, you know, if an American soldier back in the day went out, like, yeah, he was fighting for his country, but if he came home alive, he would still be honored and stuff. And I know that there are like war movies that portray that in America, so I've definitely showed those. As far as other films, I'm not sure, just because I personally don't watch that many movies, but they would be history related, not full like a documentary, but something that portrays how America was, to try to get that culture part. Because as of current day movies, they show what's going on now, but at the same time they're over dramatic, so I'd have to find one that portrays current America accurately and not so much fakely. But yeah, that's my thoughts on those questions.